Hey everyone, my name is Sophie from Sophisticated Organization. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. In today's video, we're going to tackle the linen closet here in my laundry room. So I've cleared all of the stuff out of here. I'm gonna use some bins that I already own and try and get it as organized as possible. I still need to tackle the rest of the laundry room at a different date, but for today, we're just gonna work on the linen closet here. So if you guys are ready for it, let's get started. I've pulled out all of the bins that I plan to use in this linen/utility closet. It's probably more of a utility closet because we're not putting any linens in there actually. I'm just gonna put all of the linens in each bedroom that they go with. Extra towels go in our bathroom, or extra towels go in the bathrooms that they correspond to. So this really is more of a utility closet, I guess. We could break up and then make up. I always come back to you. You move me in a way never thought anyone could. You give me how you. I had some of these categories already from our apartment and brought these bins over straight to the new house. Packed some of them exactly how they were. But now that we have more space, I can spread things out a little bit more. I had one bin that was both batteries and sewing. Those two categories make 0 sense to me to put together. So now I can have a separate bin for batteries and a separate bin for all of our sewing and other things like that, like little extra buttons and items that go with clothing that I want to hold on to. This next bin is for all of our shoe supplies, so little inserts that help make shoes more comfortable, especially my high heels. I have little things that protect the back of the shoe, and then shoe cleaning supplies. That all goes in one bin for shoes. And the bins that I'm using right now are my favorite bins from the Container Store. I just love the look of them. I think they're so pretty with the bamboo tops on them. You can also get plastic tops, or they even come in gray. So if you prefer gray, and you'll see I have a small size and a medium size, and then they have one size that's even deeper. Then these other bins that I'm pulling out, I had one for kind of repair type items, furniture repair, home repair, hooks, things like that, pens that you can use, or crayons to fill in wood furniture to try and match things. I had another one that was all electrical, one for light bulbs. So I think I'm going to do something similar, just rearrange it a little bit. And I'm actually going to parse out that repair category and move some of it to organizational supplies and then repair. So the organizational supplies I'm going to put in the white bin. That's going to be everything like command hooks and bin clips that I have that are extra, or things that I use for organizing. And then the repair is going to actually be repair items, or you'll see I have little furniture pads in there, and try and figure out the difference between repair and organization. It's silent now, we don't say a word, we're just looking at each other. Tears in our eyes from the words we say. Honestly, I'm thinking of these bins as the white bins are things that I'm going to probably access a little bit more. And then the tan ones are ones that my husband will most likely access more. So those light bulbs, electrical, and repair, that's going to be kind of things that he's dealing with. He is much better at that stuff than I am. And of course, organizing is my thing. So this bin is something I'm going to access probably more often. These boxes I really like as well. I'll try and find a link for them. They're Rubbermaid, and I think they're called bento boxes because they have little separate compartments that open and close, which is really handy to have in a bin. Sometimes when you have just a large open bin, things can get really messy inside and you need smaller containers. So I like that you don't have to purchase anything separate for these bins. You can just pop out one of the sides and it has its own built-in divider. We can't fix our broken hearts. Loving me is not so goddamn easy as I think. You try your best to hold up, but I see you giving in. You know that we shouldn't keep it up like this. We hurt each other's feelings on and on. In one of the small dividers, I'm putting in all of the extra plugs. We have some of those plugs that you can plug in and you can have a smart device. So it turns a lamp into something where you can say, turn on the lights and the lights will turn on. All of those little plugs are going to go in there. I pulled out a couple because I do want to get a few set up. I also pulled out a remote because I want Jim to figure out what TV that goes to. And I also pulled out some of my little Amazon devices. I don't want to say her name just in case you have one in your house. I hate when people do that. And then she starts talking to me. But I pulled one of those out. We're going to get those set up in the house. And the rest of the cords I just wrapped up and I'm going to stick in there, and Jim can go through it at a later date because I don't know what half of those are for, if we need them, or if they need to go somewhere that we still haven't set up in the house yet. I kind of had a vision in my head of how I wanted this to look, so I'm going to lay out the bins where I want them to go and put the ones that have items in there away for now, so I have a little more space on the floor to keep organizing and filling the rest of them up. With this last bin, I figured it would be perfect to put extra candles in and scents and things like that. I have a couple reed diffusers, I think, in my bathroom I should probably go grab and stick in there as well. So I have gone through most of my candles. You'll see, I think there's only 3 or so left. I have a couple down in the basement in our storage room that are seasonal scents with seasonal decor. So I have to figure out whether I want to store those with the rest of the candles or store those with seasonal decor. But for now, I'm putting those 3 candles in there, and I'll figure the other ones out when I go tackle the storage room at some point.
Like 2 magnets, we are drawn to each other. You just know how to push all my buttons. Moved out of town and I erased your number, but still I find myself calling in the middle of the night.
Now, I really wish that this closet had a plug in it so I could mount my Dyson vacuum and just clip it in there and have it charge every time I put it in the closet. Unfortunately, it doesn't, so I'm just trying to figure out exactly where I want to store my Dyson and what I want to do with it. But it does fit nicely in that longer storage area. I'm going to put all the Dyson parts and the charger right above it in an open bin. It's a lot easier for me to have that in an open bin. In our apartment, we had it in a bin with a top on it, and it was just a pain to get things out whenever I needed it. So I've learned my lesson. It works much better for us to have something that's easily accessible. So keeping that open works great.
So useless, you circle around me like the moon around the earth. Always ending with a kiss, I'm clueless. We pretend that we don't really care at all, and there is nothing I can do.
Now I'm just putting the labels on the bins that I know I have labels for, and I'm keeping the same categories, and then trying to figure out what other labels I need. And I'm going to go downstairs and print those so I can have brand new labels that work with the new categories. I'm also putting up these little canvas bins on the far right side. They're actually empty right now. So it is maybe more of an aesthetic thing that they're sitting there. Either as I continue to go through my house, I'll find something that will fit there or move them to a different room. But for now, I'm just going to set them there.
We're perfectly opposite. Perfectly opposite. We're perfectly opposite. And there is nothing
So down to my office, I brought the old bin clip so I can match the exact same font and size that I used on the old one so I don't have to remake everything. When I make labels on my website, I use standardized sizes, so it's really easy if somebody orders another set of something that I know what the correct size is. But when I made these labels, there was nothing standardized about what I was doing, so I'm trying to measure them so I can accurately get something that looks very similar. I also made myself a cup of warm apple cider, and I'm sipping on some apple cider. I actually used the apple cider for a video that I did recently with different fall recipes and used it in one of the meals. So I had a bunch of apple cider left over, so I just heated some up in the mug. And I clearly should have put on my glasses because you'll see how much I am leaning forward and squinting and trying to get these labels the right size. I don't know if you can also see out the window that our cute little neighbor boys are running back and forth and back and forth. Some of you guys have asked if we've met our neighbors yet, and we have. There are so many kids in this neighborhood, so I'm really excited to have a baby and start a family here because it seems like a very family-friendly spot, and there are lots of boys, so our little boy will be in good company. Another thing I do when I make my own labels for myself, I try and use as many little scraps of paper as I can and try and take advantage of that. So I'm going to get the white labels printing that are going to go on the black bin clips. And while those print, I'm going to peel off some old labels from bin clips that I had in my apartment. And I've gotten this question before too, which is, are your labels permanent? What type of vinyl do you use? And I do use a permanent vinyl. It is marketed as something that's permanent. And I do that because it can go through the dishwasher. It's really, really sturdy and stays on wherever you put it without peeling off, but you can still get it off of the surfaces. So if you take your nail or a little tool and kind of peel away at it, you can get the labels off, even off of a mug or something else that you put it on. But again, if you put that mug through the dishwasher numerous times, it stays on there. So that's why I prefer permanent vinyl. You're getting into my brain. You're getting into my brain. You're getting into my brain. And I sped this clip up because I wanted you guys to see what the Cricut looks like. This is the tool that I use to make my labels. It's kind of crazy and a really handy thing. I still need to figure out more ways to use it to make greeting cards. I feel like I should be making my own cards and making all of these other things because I have this tool at my disposal, but it's pretty cool the things that it can do. If you are looking for a good holiday gift for somebody who's a crafter or somebody who may even be yourself and you would be interested in getting one, it is a great holiday gift. I gave it to myself as a gift one year. I found it on sale on Black Friday and I love it. It was one of my best purchases, I think. Now is kind of the tedious part, depending especially on the size of your labels. So the smaller the label, the more tedious the process of making them because you have to weed away all of the excess from the lettering that you want to retain. So I'm just getting in there with this little tool and trying to get in the holes of all the letters and peel away all of the excess without peeling up the actual lettering that I want to keep. And I sped up a little bit there because I don't want you guys to sit through and watch me just make labels the entire time. But the next thing that you're going to do is put on the transfer tape. That is what you're going to peel off the label from the backing and be able to stick it on whatever surface that you want. Come home with me tonight. Run away with me. It'd be worth the time. Run away with me. I made you feel alright. Run away with me. And I'll be good this time around. I'll be good this time. Now that I have all of my labels made and the bin clips that I'm going to put them on, I just give them a good rub onto the transfer tape to make sure the label peels up nice and easily. Peel it off of the backing, stick it off on the surface that I want it to go on. Again, give it a good rub so the label sticks, and then peel away the transfer tape. It's a pretty simple process. I'm reusing the transfer tape and doing the same thing over and over again. Again, if you were to order labels from me, each label would come with its own transfer tape, and the process is really simple. I love the final touch that labels put on things, but especially with these closed bins that are not see-through, it's really handy to have a label when you have multiple people in the house or yourself and you get confused what's in which bin. Sometimes things move around a little bit. So it not only looks aesthetically pleasing, but it is really handy to know what goes where. And even though you can see straight through the container that has the Dyson parts and the Dyson charger, I still made labels for that as well. And I'm using a matching font so it all looks cohesive together. I do wish the long part of the closet was a little bit taller. My mop doesn't fit under there. I tried putting our broom under there. It didn't fit under there either. So I can't quite hang everything the way that I want to in that space, but I am going to hang up our little duster and that fits perfectly there. So here is the final after. I think it looks great. I still need to figure out if I'm going to put something at the top right, but I'm in love with the space and it did not take that long.
What I couldn't find. Just need to know I need peace of mind.
That's it for today's video. It really didn't take me that long to finish this entire utility/linen closet. If you liked today's video, I would appreciate if you gave it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Pressing that notification bell so you're notified whenever I post a new video. I am planning on organizing the rest of the laundry room. There's a lot more space in here. I need to organize all of my cleaning supplies and everything like that. So if you hit the notification bell, you'll be notified when I post that video as well. But until next time, I will see you guys later.